If you're feeling constantly overwhelmed and disorganized, or you just don't feel like trying to figure out a proven system for yourself to launch your projects, your ad campaigns, everything quickly in an organized manner, then I have something that will work very, very well for you. So up here on my board, this is representing the columns I have in Asana. Doesn't matter what project board software you use. It could be Trello board or something like that. I prefer Asana. I'm in no way, shape, or form any kind of Asana affiliate. This is just the software I prefer for managing projects, ad launches, campaign launches, all these things, so everyone stays organized and we can stay on task, and then we can make sure that what we're doing is successful. So hopefully you can see this. My handwriting is not the best, but up here on the board, this is each representing a column, right? So in your Asana project board or Trello, or again, whatever you're using, would look like this from left to right. So the first one is resources. This is stuff that you're gonna be using over and over and over and over again. I see so much people, whether you are the operator in your business or you're a solopreneur, or it doesn't matter what the case is, people have stuff living in written notes or in a Google Doc over here or in a note on their iPhone, and there's stuff just all over the place. It's very difficult to be able to launch quickly when we know time is money, not to be cliche, but you want to get things out, you want to get things out quickly. You're not going to be able to do that if the things that you're using over and over again are in 20 different places. This allows you to keep everything in one place. So for example, something underneath the resources column, I usually have something called tracking codes and account IDs, right? So I'm not gonna write all these out because my handwriting is just not good. But so you just have something under here called tracking codes. And then in that task, it's just a little task that you have in Asana. That is where you can list pixels you're using in Facebook, right? That's where you can list tracking codes that you're using for softwares like Kairos, for like a third-party tracking software for offline conversions, right? That's where you can be listing any kind of event codes you're using from Facebook that you're putting in the header of your funnel. So this is just where you can put every and anything, any kind of resource that you're using over and over and over again, right? Like we want repeatable processes, we want repeat information, because that just allows us to move faster, so we can get more people in, so we can help more people, so we can just roll over that assignment that we're being called to roll over. So tracking codes, for example, is one. Like I mentioned, account IDs is another one. I also really like to have something called quick links. Super simple, just literally quick links. So all that means is if you have a funnel that you're running all the time, put those funnel links in there. If you have a scorecard, that's where you track your marketing data, your sales team data, link that in there. All the links that you're accessing, daily or weekly or monthly, you want to have in this quick links card in the resources column. Super important. And you want to make sure within that card you have different headings, right? So you can have maybe you're going to put all your scorecards in there. So you can have, like I said, daily, and underneath the daily heading list all the scorecards used for daily, monthly, so on and so forth, right? And then funnels, you can have a funnel header in this quick links card. And underneath that funnels, you can have lander and put your lander, and then maybe your webinar page and maybe your order page. But you just want to have everything nice and organized in that resources column. Anything you're using consistently, have it there. There's no reason to have it anywhere else, because Asana or Trello or whatever you're using should be where all this stuff lives, because you just want one central place, okay? And then the rest of these columns, I really like next to have ideas. That way, if you're just by yourself or you have a team, they all have access to this, you put your ideas in there, right? And then you can talk about them, everyone can see them. And then ones that you want to move forward with, ones you're going to execute on, right? You want to move to your execution queue. These are things that you've decided from the ideas column you're going to bring through to fruition. So put them here in the execution queue, all right? When things are in the execution queue, you really at that point want to start building out tasks within them, everything that needs to be completed, okay? So under execution queue, maybe you have a virtual event coming up in March or something like that, right? And maybe you call your event Let's just call it a lead gen event. So you want to put lead gen event. That's your card living under this column. Okay. And then within that, you're going to list out everything that you need to be doing in there. You can assign people to it, right? You can assign it to yourself. Again, it doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur, you can be doing this. My wife and I have a board exactly like this for our household, right? It's for things that we're doing. Not chores, so to speak, but we own different businesses together, and then things that we're doing from like a tax strategy standpoint, different stuff like that. But we have all that in there as well because it helps us stay organized as a couple and as business partners, okay? So lead gen event lists everything out underneath that. And another really cool thing, if you're using a software like Asana, which again, I recommend, and no, I'm not affiliated with them, is let's say you run these events monthly, okay, or even quarterly. And it's basically the same stuff every time. You know you have to build out your funnel. You know you have to build out your ads and your campaign structure. You know you have to come up with creative. You know you have a tech side of it for tracking codes and scorecards and automations and sequences and all these pieces. If the pieces are pretty much the same every time, then a really cool thing is in a software like Asana, you can just have that as a task template. You can literally have something called like an event launch task template that you just duplicate every time you're launching. So if you did this, you're like, oh man, I did a pretty good process, executed for this. I want to use this for my next event. You just save that, you duplicate it, and then you have your April lead gen event. And you have all the things you and your team assign the task, work through all the pieces, make sure everything is completed for the April event, and you can just keep doing that, right? And then those things, once you get that all built out as far as what needs to be completed, then when it's in progress, meaning you and your team or you yourself have started building these things out, executing, taking action on all these subtasks, then you can move it to in progress, just to indicate that, okay, we have started on this thing, we are now working on these tasks. And you might have a bunch of things in progress, right? Depending on the size of you, your team, your business, your household, whatever that might look like. So you're gonna have that all here and in progress, and that's just things you're gonna be continually working on. And when things are complete, you mark them as complete. When the whole thing's done, you're like, oh man, I'm like ready to launch. Boom, you launch the thing, you launch your ad campaigns, or you launch your organic campaign, or you launch whatever it is with your spouse or your household, right? Then you move to completed, right? That's to indicate, all right, this is done. We accomplished that, all right? And that way you can see and go back like, oh wow, we completed a lot of stuff this quarter. You check in with your team, like, team, look at this. This is all the stuff that we got done. Like, we met our quota for accomplishing X, Y, and Z. Great job. And then another really important part, which I kind of just touched on a little bit there, is celebrated, all right? So important. So you're gonna hear lots of experts talk about this. Like, it's great when you complete that stuff, you get stuff done. It's very easy for us, especially if you're like a high D on the DISC assessment. You're just go. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, we gotta get this done, we gotta get it done fast. And you just move on to the next, That's fine and good, but you'll start to not enjoy things as much as you could if you just take a moment. It doesn't even have to be like, oh, we gotta go out and have a big dinner or a big party. Just like literally take a moment for yourself, and just celebrate that thing that you executed on and took action on. Hugely important. If you don't, like I said, your state, your prime form, as I call it, starts to wane, and it's not what you want it to be, and then things just aren't as enjoyable. Doesn't mean you still don't get stuff done, but why not enjoy what you're doing, maximally, right? So make sure that you're celebrating. There's a lot more I can go into as far as different pieces of this, but one last thing I actually did want to touch on is in this board. So not only can you have these task templates, as I mentioned, so you have a repeatable process, you just duplicate it, do it over and over and over again, but maybe you're working with a partner, or maybe you run, I don't know, for example, an agency, or maybe you're providing a service to clients or something like that, and you need to retrieve information from them. You can add them as a guest to your Asana board. You can have something called like a pre-launch intake form or a pre-launch questionnaire or anything like that, and have all the pieces built out that they need to complete, information that you need from them to be able to do whatever it is that you do for them. You can have that built out, send it to them, say, hey, can you complete this for me? They fill out the whole thing using Asana, that's what I prefer, and they send it to you, and you have all the information you need then to start doing your piece of the event launch or whatever it might be. All right, so again, I hope this is helpful. Please make sure that you just subscribe, share this, tell your friends, your business partners, other entrepreneurial friends, or just family who need to have just a better organization and execution and action taking system. All right, take care and God bless.